Okay, welcome, my dear friends. Regarding of our CPGET free online coaching, this is Dr. Padala Tirupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Food Science, Crop Production, and Microbiology, SRR Government Arts and Science College, Autonomous Karimnagar. We are organizing this wonderful program from 2021 pandemic situation. Our respected resource person, Dr. P.MANJULA Madam Garu, has given her services from 2021 as a resource person and given valuable services to the young aspirants, young budding botanists. So we would like to invite respected Madam Garu. Please welcome and start your session, Madam. Please welcome.
Okay, thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. So today's topic is good evening, dear candidates. So today we will discuss about some of the fundamentals of the ecology. So and branches of ecology. So generally ecology, when we think about this ecology, so it starts with an environment. So what is environment? So here environment means so all living organisms have a specific surrounding or medium, so with which they continuously interact, from which they derive substances, and to which they also fully adapted to that particular area. So this surrounding, generally it is called as their environment. So it can be defined as the sum total of the physical, chemical and biological conditions, so which surrounds an organism or group of organisms. So it is called as environment. So the aggregate of all conditions which affecting the existence, growth and also the welfare of this organism or group of organisms, it is called as the environment. So when in any organism which is living in particular area, so it also interacting with its surroundings, so it is called as a environment. So the in common uses, so the environment, which means total global environment without reference to any particular organism. So generally we call it as a total global environment. So it is generally referred as the environment. So here environment, it can be defined as the natural surroundings of that organism, so which directly or indirectly influences the growth and development of the organism. So the word environment, which is derived from the French word that is environ. So it is introduced into the subject by the biologist Jacob von Erkel in the early 1900s. So here the environment, it is a French word. So here, environment, the classification of the environment. So again, this environment, it is again classified into three types. That one, first one is the physical environment. Second one is the biological environment and cultural environment. So physical environment, so it includes atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere. So here atmosphere, that is it can again constitute the air, and hydrosphere water, and lithosphere soil and rocks. So here biological environment, which includes all living organisms like flora, fauna and microbia. So cultural environment, which includes society, economy and politics. So here environment, that is it. Here environment, it is classified into here the class in this environment is classified based on their characters into physical, biological and cultural environment. So ecology. So ecology, it was the term which is coined by the German biologist, that is Ernst Haeckel in 1866. So it is ecology. It is derived from the Greek word that is oikos, which means house, and logos means study. So the study of the relationship between the biotic and abiotic factors in the environment. It is called as ecology. So ecology or environmental biology. So it is the study of interactions among the organisms and also the interactions of the organisms with the environment. So it is the ecology, that is the study or the branch of science which deals with the interactions among the organisms and also the interactions of the organisms within the environment. So the scope of this field, it is very large and which covers things like global warming, environmental pollutions, plant and animal extinctions, etc. Distance, etc. So here what are the factors which influencing the environment. So the life of the organism, generally it is surrounded and affected by the number of external forces. So these forces are known as the environmental or ecological factors. So there are generally 4 categories of these ecological factors, like topography or physiographic factors, climatic factors, edaphic factors, and biotic factors. So generally here, mainly 4 factors which influence the environment. So first one is the topographic factors. That is, these factors which includes altitude, direction of the mountain chains, plateaus, plains, lakes, rivers, sea level, and also the valleys, etc. Topographic. Whereas the climatic factors, which includes atmosphere, light, temperature, humidity, rainfall, etc. So here the climatic factors like light, temperature. Whereas the edaphic factors means which related to the structure and composition of the soil. So it includes its physical and chemical properties like soil and its types, different types of soils and soil profile, minerals, organic matter, soil water, soil organisms, and inorganic substances which are also present in water like water, soil like water, carbon, sulfur, nitrogen, etc. And also organic substances also like proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, and humic substances which are also present in this soil. So edaphic factors nothing but the soil factor, that is the type of soil and soil profile, minerals which are present in the soil, etc. So biotic factors. So biotic factors, so it includes all types of the interactions between the different forms of the life. So for example, here man, animals, and plants, and also microorganisms. So they all constitute the biotic factors. So all these ecological factors which operate in conjunctions and not individually. So they are interconnected and which also affect the life of the organisms for the growth of any organism. So these all factors will influence. That is, first one is that is topographic characters, climatic factors, edaphic factors, and biotic factors for the growth of the organism, and they also interact with these. So another one is the levels of ecological organization. So this is also important. So ecology generally consists of mainly 6 main levels of organization. So first one is the basic one, that is the individual or organism. So an individual, it can be any living organism that has the ability to function independently. So it is an individual or organism. So they make the basic unit of the study in ecology. So the basic unit in ecology, that is the individual. So the organism of the similar type have the potential for interbreeding and produce a fertile offsprings. So which is called as a species. So it is the study, it is the body made up of organs. So generally the species are organism. Again, here it is made up of organs, organelles, and other parts, tissue system, organ system, like that. So that work together to carry out the various processes of life. For example, here organisms are individual, that is lion or any organism like elephant, tiger, etc. So it has a definite lifespan. So based on different organism, they have the different type and different lifespans. So, so each and every organism, they have some definite lifespan, which include the definite series of stages, so like birth, hatching, growth, maturity, senescence, aging, and death. So generally, when the organisms which are living in particular area, so they can face different types of interactions like competition, mainly this competition for the place and nutrients, mutualism, commensalism, parasitism, and predation. So these are the various interactions between the organisms. So next one is the population. So next level, that is the first one is the basic unit in the ecology is the individual or organism. So next one is the population. So a population means it is a group of individuals of the same species which inhabiting the same area and functioning as the unit of biotic community. So population means group of individuals of the same species. So here the population of the plants and animals in the ecosystem, they do not function independently of each other. So for example, here the population means the population of the plants and population of the animals. Again, here also different types plants are there. So again, here the group of, it may be varies here also. So they are always influencing each other and also the organizing themselves into communities and a functional relationship with their external environment. For example, so here the group that is pride of lions, a group of lions, are herd of elephants and school of fish, or flock of sheep, etc. So here the population growth rate, it is a characteristic of the population growth. So it is the percentage of variation between the number of individuals in a population at two different times. So it is called as a population growth rate. So next one is the third level, that is the community. So a community, it can be defined as the collection of different species of population, that is both plant and animal species in a specific area at a given point time. So here the community, it is nothing but the group of populations. Whereas a population means group of individuals of the same species. So this is an assemblage of populations of plants, animals, bacteria, and fungi, so that live in an area and interact with each other. So these are the levels of organization in ecosystem. So first one, basic one, is individual. So here the group of individuals of the same species constitute the population, group of populations, community, and here the different communities. So here the ecosystem and biome and biosphere. So these here. So here these species, they can vary vastly in number and size also. It may be varies. So for example, this species. So general, for example, here the grasses, which are dominant in the grassland community. So here in grassland community, so more number of grasses are present. So along with the herbs, shrubs, and also the trees, and which are also associated with the animals of different species and also birds. So community, it is a higher ecological category next to the population. So next one is the ecosystem. So here ecosystem, it is a community of living organisms in connection with the non-living components of their environment. So things like air, water, mineral, soil, and interacting as a system. So these biotic and abiotic components are regarded as a linked together through nutrient cycle and also the energy flow. So here in ecosystem, it is a community of living organisms in connection with the non-living components. So they are connected through nutrient cycles and also the energy flow. Next level, that is the biome. So it is the large regional unit which is characterized by the major vegetation type and which is associated fauna found in a specific climate zone. Biome, it is a group of ecosystems that have the same clinical and similar dominant communities. So the biome, which includes all associated developing and modified communities which occurring within the same climatic region. So example, forest biome, grassland and savannas biomes, and desert biomes, etc. Next one is the next level, that is so here the biome, it is nothing but the group of ecosystems that have same climatic and similar dominant communities. So next level, that is the biosphere. So the entire inhabited part of the earth and its atmosphere, which includes all living components, it is called as the biosphere. So biosphere means all living, so it is the highest level of the ecosystem. So the term biosphere was given by the geologist, that is Edward Suge, in 1875. So biosphere, which represents a highly integrated and interacting zone, which comprises of the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere. So it is a narrow layer around the surface of the earth. So next one is the about the ecosystem. So we already know about the term ecosystem, which was coined by Tansley in 1935. So ecosystem, it is a very complex unit with many interactive components. So it can be defined as a system of complex interactions of the populations between themselves and also with their environments. So another way, so the joint functioning and interaction of these two compartments, that is population and environment, in a functional unit of variable size. So ecosystem can be recognized as the self-regulating and self-sustaining units of the landscape. So example, pond or forest. So it is recognized as the self-regulating and self-sustaining units of the landscape. So next one is a classification of the ecology. So again here ecology, it is again classified into different types based on different categories. So here based on the study area, so here the ecology is classified into two types, that is autocology and synecology. So autocology means it deals with the study of individual species of organisms and its population. So it is a study of the individual species of the organism. It is called as the autocology. So the ecologist study the behavior, adaptations of the particular species to the environmental conditions at every stage of that individual's life cycle. So it is also called as a species ecology, that is the study of the species or any individual. So it is called as the autocology. So these two terms are also important. So another is the synecology. So it deals with the study of communities and their composition and their behavior and also relation with the environment. So it deals with the study of communities. So here the study of species, it is called as autocology, single individual here, species. Hence it is also known as a species ecology. And whereas the synecology, it is also known as the ecology of communities, that is study of communities. It is called as ecology of communities. So based on the habitat, again, this ecology is classified into different types. That is aquatic ecology, that is the study of interactions of the organisms in the water. So again, this aquatic ecology again classified into marine water ecology, freshwater ecology, and in aquatic ecology, that is two, that is marine water ecology and freshwater ecology. So that is the interactions of the organisms in the water. So marine water ecology means, that is example, that is mainly the organism which living in the oceans or deep seas or estuaries, that is a marine water. Whereas the freshwater ecology, that is again two types, that is lentic and lotic. So here lotic means that is running water, that is rivers, stream and springs. Whereas the lentic means standing water, example pond and lake. So here again the freshwater, that is lentic and lotic. So lotic that is lotic water means that is running water. Examples for this lotic is river, stream and springs. Whereas the lentic, that is the standing water. The example is pond and lake. Whereas the terrestrial ecology, that is the study of interactions of the organisms on land surfaces, which are divided as the grassland ecology, forest ecology and desert ecology. So here it is the study of interactions of the organisms which are present on the land surface based on the habitat, that is aquatic and terrestrial ecology. So again in the aquatic ecology, that is marine and freshwater, and again in the freshwater, that is lentic and lotic. So next one is based on the advancement in the field of ecology. Again here it is classified into different types like productive ecology, population ecology, community ecology, ecosystem ecology, microbial ecology, radiation ecology, pollution ecology, space ecology, etc. So organism ecology are species ecology. So organism ecology, it is the study of an individual organism's behavior, morphology, physiology, etc. in response to their environmental challenges. So that is species ecology. So ecologists generally research how organisms are adapted to these non-living and living components of their surroundings. So here the individual species which are related to various adaptations like physiological adaptations, morphological adaptations, and also the behavior adaptations. The next one is the population ecology. So it deals with the factors that mainly alter and impact the genetic composition and also the size of the population of the same species mainly. So here this population ecology, which mainly examines the population distribution and density, etc. So population distribution, how these organisms are distributed on the area, and also the density, number of individuals which are present in a particular area. So population density is the number of individuals in a given volume or area. So it helps in determining the whether a particular species it is in endangered or its number is to be controlled and resources to be replenished. So it can be easy to study about individuals, how they are living there, and is the nutrients are sufficient or like that. So and how the growth and development will be taking place. So next one is the community ecology. So it deals with the how community structure is modified by interactions among living organisms. So here the community mainly it is made up of two or more populations of different species living in a particular geographical area. So yes, community ecology or it is also known as the synecology. So here the study of this mainly community structure. So next one is the ecosystem ecology. So it deals with the entire ecosystem, which includes the study of living and non-living components and also their relationship with the environment. So this science mainly how ecosystems work and their interactions. Next one is a landscape ecology. So it deals with the exchange of energy, materials, organism, and other products of the ecosystem. So this landscape ecology mainly study the habitat fragmentation, that such as the deforestation or the migration of the organisms between the ecosystem, etc. Next one is the biosphere. So it deals with the interactions among the Earth's ecosystem, land, atmosphere, and oceans. So it helps to understand the large scale interactions and their influence on the planet. So the role of greenhouse gases and also the effect of the climate change on the ecosystem and also the organisms, etc. So these are some of the important branches of ecology, that is habitat ecology. It is mainly based on the nature of the habitat, which includes the freshwater ecology, marine ecology, desert ecology, or forest ecology, or grassland ecology. Conservation ecology. So another one. So it mainly deals with the preservation and management of our natural resources. So it mainly, this conservation ecology mainly deals with the preservation and management of our natural resources. Another one is the production ecology. So this is also important because it deals with mainly energy flow and how this nutrient cycling will takes place within the ecosystem. So paleoecology. So another branch, that is the paleoecology. So this branch mainly concerned with the ancient organisms or organisms of past and their environment. So you already know about this population ecology, mainly the studies structure and dynamics of the population. And next one is the ecosystem ecology. Mainly it deals with the analysis of ecosystem structure and function. Another one is the radiation ecology. So here mainly concerned with the effect of radioactive materials on both living systems as well as on the path through which they are dispersed, which includes dispersal through the abiotic environment. Another branch, that is a chemical ecology. So which mainly examines the role of chemical interactions between the living organisms and their environment. Another one is a human ecology. Here the study of relationship between the human and their environment. Another, gene ecology. So this mainly the studies of genetic makeup of the species or population in relation with their environment. So these are some of the important branches of ecology. So next one is some terms which are used in ecology or environment. That is, you already know about this, but producers. So you know about producer means so an organism which produces organic matter for itself and also for other organisms by the process of photosynthesis. So example for producers are generally autotrophs. Food chain. So that is the transfer of food energy from plants through the series of organisms with repeated eating and being eaten. It is called as a food chain. Food web, so it is the interlocking pattern of food chain with all sorts and short. So here it is interlocking pattern of the food chains. So it is called as a food web species. It is a group of organisms whose are similar in structure and physiology and that are actually interbreed and produce fertile offsprings that are reproductively isolated from all other such groups. That is called as species. So niche. So this is also important. It is a place where the organism perform its function. So that is the generally it is called as the function of the organism, mainly considered as a niche. So biosphere, it is a term used for all the earth ecosystem functioning together on the global scale. So trophical structural level, it represents the various feeding levels in the community. That is the nutrient status or the function level of an organism in any food chain. Generally, it is called as the trophic structural level. Ecotone. So it is the boundary between the two major communities and which contains most of the organisms of both the overlapping communities. Population, which includes the group of individuals of the same species in a particular area. Habitat, it's the place where the organisms live. So these are the some of the main terms. So generally when we talk about this ecology, so generally ecological balance. By this why we are studying about, why we are studying this ecology means, so generally we talk about ecological balance. So to maintain the ecological balance like that. So ecological balance means, so it is a term used to describe the equilibrium between the living organisms such as human beings or plants, animals, as well as their environment. So human beings play a key role to maintain the ecological balance because they have the highest thinking capacity as compared to other living organisms. So here human beings plays an important role to maintain this ecological balance. So sufficient food available to all living organisms and their stability, which reflect the existence of the ecological balance. So therefore, this balance is very important because it ensures survival, existence, and also the stability of the environment. If we maintain the ecological balance, so it ensures the survival of the organisms and also the existence and stability of the environment. So for example, human activities such as farming and resource exploitation are checked to prevent the excessive destruction of the forest. So deforestation leads to drought. So this drought reduces the food production, which resulting in insufficient food. So this insufficient food leads to the starvation, later death occurs. So to maintain ecological imbalance, so here afforestation is important. So next one is the ecological imbalance. So it is when the natural or human caused disturbances which disrupts the natural balance of an ecosystem. So this disturbance is any change that causes the disruption of the balance of an ecosystem. Example, natural disturbances like volcanic eruptions or floods or natural fires. So examples of this human-caused disturbances are the introduction of the new species against the nature and pollution and overhunting of the species. So this is about some of the important terms which are used in ecology and fundamentals of ecology. Okay, so I will stop here. In next class, we will continue.
Okay, madam, thank you very much. Regarding of this class, if you have any doubt, my dear friends, please ask our respected madam. Madam is going to clarify your doubts. Any queries, please, you may feel free and ask our respected resource person. Okay. Madam, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. So each terminology most important for all competitive exams regarding of our CPGET also, ecology, synecology, atecology, ecotone, niche, ecotype. These are all most important terminology, and also ecosystem components and other most important terminology related to ecology. So thank you very much, madam. Next class, sharp 7 p.m. we will going to meet. Be ready, my dear friends. I will stop here.